The church is considered of Christian foundation. 1931 ca. Giovanni Villani said it was founded by Carlo Magno. The adjacent monastery was founded by Benedictine nuns of St. Hilary in 1157. Later it was assigned to the Dominicans and after them to the possession of the Vallombrosians who moved there for the will of the Pope Alexander IV in 1230. They remained there until 1808. In the 14th century, important renovation and expansion works started. The church was enlarged and a new cloister was built, 1447-1456, with a dormitory and a refectory of the monks. In 1745, the church was radically transformed by the architect Giuseppe Ruggeri, who dismantled many previous decorations and removed the numerous burials of illustrious families and citizens. Among the major changes made in the 18th century were the definition of the interior space and the realization of the dome frescoes in correspondence of transept. After the Napoleonic suppression, the church was further modified in 1808. The changes made to the structure corresponded to the neoclassic taste of the architect Giuseppe Caccialli. The two columns with the lions and the side in the frieze that connect the descent were placed in the center of the facade, deprived of the 14th century portal. Sepulchre and nave, with an astilosi of evident neoclassic flavor. After 1808, the church was used of the Lotto games direction. Then it served as a court and later as a tobacco factory, where the most prestigious works took place, until the construction of the tobacco factory in Via delle Cascine. The partitioning of the central nave with industrial metal beams date back to these last phases. Marini's sculptures are located in the large hall on the ground floor. They are distributed on the longitudinal axis of the room on the direction of the 6 meters of height Grande Cavaliere, the Great Knight, probably both for artistic values and for size, the most important piece of the collection work. The location of this work determines the main design choice of the space. It's located in the center of the ancient presbytery, below the dome and illuminated by the transparent wall of the apse. The space is organized to have a wide height. In order to contrast horizontality and verticality, heaviness and transparency, the designer decided to preserve the massive 19th century bolted beams to build the new floor. The museum setup carefully respected the indication given by the artist Marino Marini and the choice of materials and natural lighting of the rooms, really important. This contributed to create a rare effect of harmony between the containers and the works. The itinerary is articulated in several levels. The bronze and concrete sculptures are distributed on all levels, while polychrome plaster, cast and canvases, portrait and drawings are placed on different heights. The multiplicity of expert techniques offers further evidence of the artist's interest in the expressive possibility of form. Carlo Pirovano underlines the importance of the decisive aspect of the restoration project, a restoration that is not an exercise in style but an adaptation to the new museum functionality, which aim at restoring the reliability of the monumental organism to the creation of paths aimed at reading Marino's works, with particular attention to the exasperated three-dimensionality of the artist from Pistoia. The possibility of turning around the sculptor is exceptional and perhaps unrepeatable in other contexts. It can always be looked at from different perspectives. Therefore, the ex novo intervention is characterized above all by the unwinding of a very free path that allows the vivisect, one would say, the fragments and memories of an ancient history and the exceptional documents of Marino Marini's modern and actual poetics. It is precisely from history and its supreme values of continuity and mythical realization that the artist has been able to draw creative sap. The night character is constantly present in his work, almost a symbolic sign of his personal vision of the world. As Marino himself loved to say, there is the whole history of humanity instructed in the figures of the night and the hordes, in every age of it. At the beginning there is a harmony between them, but in the end, especially after the last war, the world of the machine breaks out violently between them, breaking this symbiosis in a dramatic but no less alive and vitalizing way. Since 1943, it is possible to notice signs of change in the plastic rendering of the subject. The forms opened up, became violent, full of tension. The relation between rider and horse became dramatic, conflictual. After the war, Marino accentuated the dynamic tension of these works, deformed them, and made the surface raw and faded. Pomona Nude is a sculpture by Marino Marini that is a part of a series of other works inspired by the archaic Mediterranean representation of fertility. The theme of the pomona, symbol of prosperous and welcoming femininity, gives way in recent years to figures linked to the world of circus and theater. Drag girls and dancers are characterized by elongated, strongly expressive form, accentuated by traces of colors that sometimes make them disturbing. The series of horse and riders sees the figures of the group merge, forming blocks with stripped forms, full of pathos. This fundamental stylistic variation reflects a violent variation in Marino Marini's vision of things. The war marks deeply. Man loses his own dignity and value, he writes. It was built, it was destroyed, a desolate song remained in the world. Marini replied in this way to a friend who asked him in what mood he was working in his recent works. Marino also adds, I was born serene, in a serene atmosphere, comfort by security and from an aesthetic point of view. Perfect. I learned about the world of 20th century agitation, and through these turbulent times, I changed the form, the expression of my sculpture. In 1951, Marino Marini met Igor Stravinsky in New York, in the exhibition in the prestigious gallery Carte Valentin. A friendship destined to last a lifetime was born, as shown by Marino's portrait of the Russian composer, who received it with enthusiasm. The link with the theater from which the Pistoiese artist draws his vast repertoire of clowns and acrobats, images of existence, collides only once in the reality of the stage. In 1972, at La Scala in Milano, 1 year after the composer's death, with an inventive edition of La Sagra della Primavera. That was also the only proposal for a theatrical collaboration accepted by Marino. This story was born in the name of Stravinsky and his piano music.